I decided to get tested to see if I could donate my kidney to my wife of 6 years. We have 2 kids together, 4F, 2 meters. My wife got sick just after our son was born and now is in need of a kidney transplant. We checked with her relatives and none were a match or a viable donor. Last week I got tested. I knew it would be a long shot, so I decided to get tested to see if I could donate. I got a call the other day saying that I was a match. The doctor then said something about wanting to do additional testing due to some information from the HLA tissue test results. I didn't think much of it and agreed. Then the results came and I was shocked and confused. He explained that because of how DNA information is passed down through generations, a parent to a child could have at least a 50% match. Siblings could have a 0 to 100% match. It was rare to have a high match as husband and wife. I asked, what does that mean? He said that my wife and I have an abnormally high match percentage. Long story short, we're related. No, I'm not kidding. I was put up for adoption before I was born. Placed into a family that moved across the country. I knew I was adopted, but we didn't have any information about my bio family. It was a closed adoption. I met my wife by chance 8 years ago. I was on a trip from work and she was working at the site I went to. We worked together for a week. We exchanged numbers, kept in touch. I was sent back there 3 more times that year and each time we became closer. I was given the opportunity to be transferred out there in a new higher paying position in a different department as hers. The rest is history. I don't know what to do moving forward, but I know it may be wrong. She is my wife and the mother of our kids. This post is probably going to get removed, but it is all true. TL, doctor, wife of 6 years needs a kidney. I got tested and we have an abnormally high match percentage for being husband and wife. Edit, look at name. All of my family is from my adopted parents. My parents adopted me 2 minutes after I was born. Their name is on my birth certificate. They have not told me anything about my bio parents and don't have any info. Her family is not a match as stated above. Most of her family has low match potential or can't donate due to medical or other reasons. I am 2 years older than my wife. I do know that my wife was born when her parents were late teens. Throwaway. Happened a few days ago. Situation came to a close today. I, M24, confessed to my friend of 5 years, F26, that I had begun developing romantic feelings towards her beginning almost 4 years ago. She heard me out and then said that she needed space to think it over. I was okay with it and knew what was gonna happen regardless. She was my closest friend as I didn't have many, and even when I was in a relationship with a romantic relationship with another female, I still sometimes went to her to talk or hang out. Yay, I'm an asshole for it. I was lying to myself being in a relationship with someone I didn't care for. I just didn't want to be alone. Eventually she broke it off. She didn't love me anymore. I didn't either towards the end. So only recently I decided to just confess because I was done hiding it and I wasn't in a romantic relationship anymore. She just got back to me today. She doesn't want to be my friend at all given my feelings towards her and she does not reciprocate. So now I have one less friend after 5 years of knowing her. At least she said goodbye nicely. She'll probably see this, I don't know. I don't care anymore. I should have never said anything. Oh, if TL, doctor, I confessed my feelings and lost my friend forever. I was an 80s baby, so what is now considered date rape, back in the early 2000s was just guys being guys and doing what they could to try and have sex with women, too drunk, too asleep to consent? Fair game back in the day. Long story, but my BFF and her spouse have been fighting about a time when he literally tried to date rape her. Someone fucked with her drink at a rave and she started feeling really bad and drugged, so they rounded up the friend group and everyone went back to his house and he promptly kicked everyone out so he could take care of her. That's when he tried to have sex with my basically unconscious friend. She remembers going in and out of consciousness and him trying but not much else. He tried to say that it never happened and that she just was remembering it wrong. She remembers friends later asking questions because of how weird he was being. I spoke with her today and realized that he was trying to gaslight her into believing she did remember it wrong. So I spoke up and revealed the time that he tried to do a similar thing to me, We've all been friends since we were 14 but we're 16-18 at this point. We had all been tripping acid and when I was coming down and trying to go to bed, he decided that was his chance. I didn't want to talk or be bothered so that's when I pretended to be asleep and he got very touchy and downright creepy, to the point narrating what he was doing because he didn't believe that I was sleeping. I had to get up and just leave the house because I wasn't going to deal with that all night. I figured it was just him being on drugs, and honestly this wasn't the first or last time a dude tried to get touchy while I was sleeping, so I basically forgot about it. I had no idea that he had done this to her. I pretty much vowed never to talk about it because they were now dating, it was the past and we all make mistakes and nothing happened because I left. But then this happened and I let the cat out of the bag. Now I'm pretty sure I just blew up our friendship. She won't end her marriage, I know that for sure, but this might have just killed our friendship. TLDR. Friend was getting lied to about a time her husband tried to rape her. She started doubting herself so I told her my similar experience with her husband and I'm pretty sure our friendship is over now. She isn't talking to me now so. Probably. Well actually this happened 8 months ago but I just found out about this today. Sorry for this being so long and the bad formatting, I'm on mobile. I, 20F, moved into my first apartment 8 months ago and my little brother, 16M, offered to help me move in and set up my desk and bed in my new room. I thought it was very sweet and gladly accepted. He also gave me his old AC unit and told me BTW that thing beeps. I didn't think much of it and was grateful to get a free AC unit so I would put up with the beeping. The AC unit beeps at inconsistent time intervals, about every 5 to 45 minutes, but I put up with it. Summer comes and goes and I take out the AC unit and take it back to my parents' house. The beeping continues. I thought this was weird but let it go for a while. After months of this shit I'm fed up. I start moving every electronic device in my room into the living room one at a time to systematically figure out which one is making the noise. None of them are. I'm pissed. The noise now causes an anger response in me. It'll be absolutely silent in my room and I'm almost asleep, then that fucking beep happens and I'm wide awake again. Turns out my brother bought an annoying beeper off of Amazon right before I moved in. He super glued it to the back of a drawer in my bed. It has been driving me insane for 8 months. The battery life is 3 years. It's the size of a quarter. I never would have found it if he hadn't come into my room while I was visiting my parents and asked if I had found the beeper he hid in my room. I tore apart my room. I found it. I had to rip it off of my bed frame. I smashed it with a hammer. I'm legitimately on the verge of tears. I don't know why. I'm just exhausted and so happy to have that sound be gone. Fuck you, little brother. TLDR, my brother hid an annoying beeper in my room when he offered to set up my furniture for me. It tortured me for 8 months. Edit, everything I say in this post is said with so much love for my brother. We're already laughing about this. Please don't be mean to him. My friend, 20F, is into reptiles and has several snakes in her reptile room. I came in to visit her from out of town. I'm not put off by snakes or anything so I thought it'd be cool to check the room out. She was taking different snakes out and showing them to me, and asked me if I'd like to hold this big one, so I said sure. I guess I jostled it around a bit too much while checking it out though, and she said oh, be gentler with it. And then before I knew it my left hand was suddenly covered in this oily feeling stuff which was dripping onto the floor. She immediately took the snake from me and put it back, grimacing, wincing and saying oh no, it must ... hasn't done that in a year. I was confused at first, and then the smell hit me. I was totally unprepared for something that hideous, by far the worst thing I've ever smelled. Like dog waste, rotten fish and cheese all at once, but really oily and it felt like I could taste it. I ran out of the room to the bathroom to go be sick. Meanwhile she cleaned it up the best she could, and thankfully wasn't mad at me but said well I guess you learned a lesson, there's a reason people don't want to scare them, and are more afraid of the stinky end than the bitey end. We went out of the house and had a mostly good day but I noticed while eating that my hand still stunk like hell when I brought it near my face, and she said it would likely continue to stink for a day or two. The worst was when we got back home, though. I could smell it when we walked in the door. And my guest bedroom was adjacent to the reptile room and the whole room stunk. She had opened windows, etc., but said it can take quite some time for the musk to air out and that I'd sadly have to just deal with it. Was pretty nauseous all night and didn't get much sleep. TL, doctor scared a friend's snake, it musked all over me, felt quite sick. About 25 minutes ago I got fired. So I was a truck driver. I was making a delivery to a place I'd never been before. I went to the GPS location and didn't really know which building was the right place, so I pulled over across the street in a parking lot to look around. The owner of the place across the street flagged me down, so I pulled over to the place. I got out and walked to the back to deliver and greet the customer, at which point he, aggressively, said something close to "Don't drive on that lot, the guy who owns it will get really ticked." Blah blah, so I laughed to myself as an acknowledgement. Then BC of that the guy says something close to "Oh, you think this is funny? That it's a joke? Well, I don't want the delivery, take it back, I refuse it." But I explained that I only did like BC, I was having a good day I general. So he then accepted the delivery. Then after the delivery I left a 1-star review, no words, just 1 star, on Google review of his company on both my personal phone and my work phone. So then when I got back to the distribution center they fired me BC of that. I suck. TL, doctor, left a 1-star review on a company from my work phone, got fired. Edit 1, it was on the company phone and my phone. I know it was my fault, and hindsight says that I'm an idiot. It just seemed a little extreme to be fired instead of just a reprimand, since I removed the reviews after, and I even offered to only work in the warehouse, but still fired me. Edit 2, the owner of the business called my job and told them that the driver who just delivered to then left 2 bad reviews on different accounts. So that's how they found out.